let's just say it's a good thing that I didn't continue here. Alright, past the second level of obstacles. It would be nice if it is not like this all the way, but I can actually paddle out to more open water. Let's see how that goes. It's definitely not a paddle with a skeg anyway. Alright, there's a tunnel up ahead where I will have to check in advance whether it is safe and feasible to enter. A little bit of foam here. I'm definitely not going to be able to paddle over there. See if it improves at all. This is the tricky part, that on Google Maps satellite view you can get a lot of information, but you can't really see stuff like this. And as to the question as to whether it is winter, well, there's ice here, so I think we're gonna count this one officially as a winter paddling trip for sure. Hashtag winter kayaking. If you haven't checked out the winter kayaking or cold water kayaking group on Facebook, then go do that. You can actually walk here. And see what the situation is on the other side. If it makes no sense to continue, then maybe it's better to take a bus or to walk to more open water. So as long as there are no crocodiles or sharks down here, this should be interesting. Alright, I'm gonna scout ahead paddling actually. Well, if this gets complicated, instead of at first to do this, So this is another kind of winter kayaking, I tell you. This is the cool thing about portable kayaking. It can be tricky sometimes, but you never know really what you're gonna get unless you know the area. And while it would be easier obviously to just paddle forward without obstacles, there's no challenge in that. And that's something I've done so many times before. This, on the other hand, is a little bit different. You know how I always say that every paddling trip brings something different. Well, this one matches that description. And definitely this is a very unique winter paddle in my record. This is, you know how I always say that every paddling trip brings something different. Well, this one matches that description. Right. Just having a leisurely walk with my kayak. At least over there, I'm guessing that I can get up easily to land if I wanted to. I had kind of an emergency solution over there as well, where I could climb up a set of rocks and get up to street level. But over here, it's gonna be actually easy. And here we have a tire. How tiresome. I'm gonna stop over there and take a look at the map. And if there's a risk that it keeps being shallow like this, I might decide that I've had enough fun for today and actually just get up on land and pick up my kayak and maybe head out to where the seawater is. But I'll check the distances and make my assessment based on Google Maps and such in a moment. Still, this is a bit of a crazy way of paddling, if you can even call it that. I'm wading and paddling in sequences. And over here, there's a little bit of water flow. Using the paddle to feel the depth in front of you. It's quite instrumental here. You don't want to suddenly fall into a really deep section without being prepared for it. I think I'm gonna stick closer to land here, where I can grab onto stuff. if this counts as paddling or if it's hiking, walking, whitewater rafting, borderline snorkeling. I don't really know. I don't really know if this counts as paddling or walking, hiking, trail running in the water, borderline snorkeling or whitewater rafting. But it's a challenge. You know, I actually have been here many years ago when I had my own consultancy company, and I was giving a speech here. And over there is the tower, which is kind of the main feature, I would contend, in the city. It might be that in the end I decide to pack down the kayak and hike up there and then have a nice lunch and explore the city a bit on foot. We'll see how it goes. There is open seawater further out, and it's possible that the river opens up notably over there, but I'll have to check in a moment. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of alternating and stepping into the water when it gets too shallow, and stepping into the kayak when it gets too deep. But now, given those rocks over there, it's definitely time to find a way to climb up on land. I think it looks like this spot right here is my best bet to get up from this labyrinth, actually. Alright, so you can see all the rocks over there. This is where I get up on land. Alright, and I have to get my kayak up here vertically onto the frost. And this is some sort of museum, so might be worth checking out. Let me tell you, I am happy that this is a lightweight kayak. Alright, this kind of kayak lifting is not something I do every day. But I seem to have pulled it off. Whew. Back on land. Let's get this thing further up, so there's no risk whatsoever of it gliding down again. Alright, so my plan of maybe not getting any water into my boot, well, maybe wasn't successful entirely. This is why you have spare clothes and spare shoes and spare everything basically in winter, which I do. Let's just say it's a good thing that I didn't continue here. more where everything begins. The city, I guess. So let me take a look here just to see what the continuation looks like. Well, I'm not entirely convinced. Here it's actually freezing a bit. Alright, so here's this, and then there are rocks over there and such and such. So basically, yeah, I think I've had my adventure. As I said before, or hinted at, I don't really have massive ambitions for this particular paddle. It was just about getting some creek paddling in, and looking at the map, it wasn't going to be overly exciting on the route. Now it got more exciting than I thought. But basically I've had my fun, and I knew from before that I did want to check out that tower over there again, which I saw many years ago. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of spending a lot of time and effort on paddling and packing down my kayak, getting to more paddleable waters over there, more paddle appropriate waters, and then packing up my kayak again and paddling and then backing down again and getting back. What I'm gonna do is, instead, this is about paddling in 100 cities, and I'm back in Söderhamn for the first time in many years. So I am gonna pack down my kayak, and then I'm gonna go explore the city a little bit more than I had the time for. So let's go exploring. Right, back at the train station in Söderhamn after an interesting paddle there and some walking around in central Söderhamn. I had some Chinese food, which is kind of a tradition that has arisen from some paddles, especially I think creek paddles or river paddles, where I've ended up at a Chinese restaurant every now and then, and just relaxed after a paddling trip, and as in this case, being happy and well fed after a paddle. It's been an interesting experience. It wasn't a long paddle, but it was a lot of climbing around and a lot of work, and I've been taking it easy since then. Really nice not to have to stress on the way back. I had to stress massively to make my train from Sundsvall, and I made it with less than a minute to spare with all the headwind I had on the way back. So this time it's nice to be back with time to spare and just taking it easy, enjoying myself. This was, just a day excursion, but it was kind of fun. It's been a good day. It wasn't at all the day I expected. Actually, I kind of thought that I might have to fill time, paddling here and there and trying to find something of interest, because it would be a relatively short creek paddle initially, and I didn't have time to get out to sea, so to speak, and that wasn't the goal for today. And there might be some other creek paddling, but basically just paddling. Instead, I got quite the acrobatic adventure and some relaxed time here in Söderhamn. I haven't been bored. I certainly wasn't bored at the beginning, and I was able to just take it easy for the most part and relax, which is something I need to learn to do as well during a paddle every once in a while. So this has been a good day. Thank you for watching.